Perfect Popcorn. Going to talk to some fans right here after the Flash movie. And who do we have?
My name's Alec.
Alec?
I'm John.
All right, I got John and Alec here. So, first impressions, guys. What did you think about the film overall?
I loved it, honestly.
I really enjoyed it. I really did. I'm partial to the TV show.
Okay.
So the CW TV Flash is my favorite. But this was done really well.
So,
Yeah.
continue. I didn't want to cut you off there.
Oh, it's okay. I actually haven't seen the show, so
Okay.
I might feel the same way if I have.
I've never seen it either, to be transparent.
Oh.
And do you think Grant Gustin not being in the film was kind of a missed opportunity?
I would have liked to see his cameo that I know. I mean, you never know, like, with rumors and everything.
Yeah.
But it was rumored that they shot a cameo with him.
They did.
I think that would have been awesome.
Uh-huh.
As a huge Grant Gustin Flash fan,
Yeah.
I think that would have been great. They did already do that for us, though, during Crisis on Infinite Earths.
That's true.
So, I mean, at least I have that.
Okay.
But, you know.
And then, so as far as Ezra Miller's performance, I don't know if you can see, I bawled my eyes out in this film. Like, for some reason, like, I really lean into the emotional films. Obviously, as a critic, I have to be critical with it. And I think every heartfelt moment hit for me. So,
Sure.
do you guys feel the same about that?
Absolutely. Like, it's unfortunate because, Ezra Miller has been caught in some controversies, and it's almost like, wow, stop making me like you. But they did such a great job in two performances.
Yeah.
And they had great chemistry with themselves.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know how you do that, but they managed to pull it off.
And what did you think about
I'll-
Ezra?
I think with this dramatic performance, especially, are we talking spoilers or no?
We can talk spoilers, yeah.
Okay,
Spoiler. Spoiler.
So, at the end of the film, when he goes back and fixes the timeline, essentially, with his mom in the grocery store, that got me.
Oh, yeah.
That hit me extremely
Me too.
hard because,
Me too. I'm not alone. Because I know
Totally.
some people weren't crying, man. I was
Yeah.
like, that was an
Well,
emotional scene.
Well, like, that's like the whole crux of Flash, right? Is like, that's what shaped his whole life was the death of his mom. And so having that moment where she has no idea, she doesn't know who this person is, but he's getting this moment with her. That is something that just it makes Flash who he is. And so it's nice for him to get that moment but still do the right thing. So I love that. For me, was the peak
Icing on the cake.
of that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so again, spoilers, CGI. I'll be honest. When the baby scene
That was
started,
rough, dude.
as soon as the baby scene started, I said they're right. The CGI really is that bad. I mean, is there any other scenes where you were like that? The CGI was that bad?
There was a scene in the Batwing. Is that what it's called? Michael Keaton? The Batwing? Yeah. Where there's two Ezra Millers, and it cuts to one in the suit, and I'm like, what is this, PS3? Like,
PS2.
PS2, yeah, exactly. And I was just like, why is he even CGI?
Yeah.
Because they were doing reverse shots, so you don't need to have two actors in the same scene together. So that was really jarring to me.
And that's something that happens a lot throughout this movie. Again, spoiler, you're going to see a lot of the two on camera. And similar to the point you're saying, it's not like they're shooting one and then having him stand in for the other. They're just going full CGI. And
I don't understand it. Like, especially so in the I guess you would call it the final battle, where they're facing Zod and everything. There are these moments when you've got Flash in the Flash ring suit, but they like computerized his face, and it's nothing like the entire rest of the movie. You didn't do that.
yeah.
Why are we doing it here? What's the significance of doing that in this shot? So honest
And
to
that's the
goodness,
same
I
scene
had.
that you're talking about, right? Like,
No, I was talking about when they were going to break out Supergirl
Oh, okay.
from the Russian prison, and you were talking about the final fight, right,
Yeah.
in the desert. But it happened in both scenes.
I just don't. that made no sense to me, and I'm like, dude, you guys have had how many years to work on this?
4 years. I
And
think.
like, I am in no way, shape, or form one of those Zack Snyder bots.
Cultists, yeah.
Cultists.
The people
exactly.
who are boycotting this movie. You're not real DC fans.
No,
you're just
not.
boycotting this
No,
movie.
You're not.
All
But-
four of you.
Yeah.
But like, he was able to do Zack Snyder's Justice League during a pandemic with limited time, and
Smaller
that CG
budget.
was just fine.
They shot one of the nightmare scene was shot in his driveway.
Exactly. Like, that
So-
CG was just fine. Look at all this time that they had with this movie. Like, what happened?
say what you will about Snyder, but he knows how to frame a shot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Preach.
I like Zack Snyder
Yeah.
as a director. It's his fans I can't stand, but anyway, that's not what we're here to talk
Yeah,
about.
we're not here to talk about you guys with the Twitter fingers at home. I can't tell you how many people in the film community, when the first screening happened for not Comic-Con, but the next one over, there was a photo of someone like sitting in the theater, like movie's about to start. So many other accounts just screenshotted that,
Yep.
used them like, I'm at the movie too, and then after like, this movie's trash, like you weren't even
I-
at the film.
I got into an argument with a Snyder cultist using that photo,
Yeah.
and it was so funny because he tried to throw all this crap, and then I addressed every point, and he never responded, and I was like, this is just
Yeah, go back to your mom's basement, guys.
Okay. On a similar note,
Yeah.
though, since the CGI, it was very rough at
Yeah.
times. Like, I'll be honest, it was almost distracting
Mhm.
a lot of the time.
Takes you out of the scene.
Yeah, but it just goes to show that if the heart is there,
Mhm.
if your story is worth investing in,
Mhm.
that stuff doesn't like at least not completely stop your enjoyment of the movie.
that's true.
You know, so like I mean, I wish the CGI was more complete. I don't know if it was just a lot of reshoots and they just kept changing things and
I think
what have you.
I think
but-
the worst thing about the CGI for me is because I knew people that went to Comic-Con. In fact, the people who sat next to me went to the press screening a few days ago, and they also said, "Hey guys, this is an unfinished cut. You know, CGI still being done." I think that was all a load of crap,
yeah.
and I hate that because I think Snyder fans, DC fans, we've been misled so many times.
Yeah.
So it's a shame. And I think the scene where the CGI for me was, like you said, like it just like I can't remember what you said quote for quote, but essentially just was distracting. That's what you
Yeah.
said. The CGI was so distracting. A spoiler in the scene where, if you've seen the Flash show, you probably know where is when he's changing the future in that like orb
Yeah, it just when he's in the Speed Force.
when he's in the Speed Force. So that there is just like it was so bad. And granted that spoiler, Nicolas Cage as Superman. There was a guy next to me or 2 rows down was like crying. He's like, he's fighting the spider.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so cool. But again, I just think, I don't know. The CGI was bad, and we said from the start that first scene is just not good.
Well, it's tough when like, so again, I mean, I know that you haven't seen the show and neither of you, but like, we know what TV CG looks like.
Yeah.
We know it's not good.
Was
you
this worse?
expect it. It was at least on par, if not slightly worse, especially when it came to like the facial stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, that was kind of disappointing because I'm like, I mean, I can go watch King Shark on TV looking pretty bad, but slightly better.
So
So it again, like truly, like it was a good movie, and
Yeah.
there was a great story there, but it is tough to see that in a large motion picture film that had so much money dumped into it that took so long to get to us
yeah.
that it's like, why? What happened? Why did this happen?
So with all of those things in mind, everything we've talked about, just through a scale of 1 through 5, what would you rate the movie?
I might go as high as a 4, actually.
Solid 4.
Yeah, solid 4. I
Okay.
really liked it. Like, yeah, the CGI was rough, and it's kind of a shame that a lot of those story threads that they were going to set up,
The
that ended
original
up-
Flashpoint.
the original
We would have loved
Flashpoint.
to have Thomas Wayne.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan
Would've
is
been-
Thomas Wayne. Oh my gosh,
Chef's kiss. Perfect.
he would have played Batman twice. That's a Walking Dead joke, by the way, for any of you who get that. Thank you.
And then what would you rate it? 1 through 5.
I'd give it a 3.5.
Okay.
I really did enjoy it. Like
Mhm.
Flash is my absolute favorite DC hero. So as someone that enjoys the Flash, I had a great time. I still just prefer the TV show. I think that they did it a little bit better.
Do you think, not to cut you off, do you think that the TV show, because you're so invested in it, that your hype was a little bit higher, the expectations were higher?
I think possibly, especially because after seeing Zack Snyder's Justice League and the role that they gave him in that,
Mhm.
I think that I was hoping for a little bit more. And I don't know necessarily what it could have given me more. Like again, I think the story was just fine. I enjoyed that. I liked the arc that they put young Barry through, that they put regular Barry through. But again, for me, the CGI was extremely distracting. And I do have a bias being a fan of the TV show, which I understand that's on me. That's not on the
Uh-huh.
film. But
So then, last thing, concluding it up, and again, another big spoiler alert. Shout out to our cameraman for holding it down. George Motherfucking
God.
Clooney. What did y'all think? Because when I listened to the audience, it sounded more like there were laughs than applauses.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, release the Schumacher cut. It's coming. Shout out Kevin Smith. I'm a big Batman Forever fan. I will die on that cross.
No.
Yes, I am. I love it. Val Kilmer is one of my favorites. He's definitely in my top 3. Maybe Battinson a little there, but with we can talk about that later.
Sure.
So, but as far as George Clooney, I mean, what were your initial reactions?
I liked it, honestly, because originally that was supposed to be Michael Keaton
It
that
was.
stepped out of that car.
Do you think they CGI'd his face on? I heard a lot of rumors that they didn't reshoot the scene
Yeah.
and they just CGI'd his face. I heard that.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they did. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
As much as we've been talking about the CGI, if that was CGI, it looked good.
Why
You
did
know,
they spend so much time on that? if that's true, why?
Well, because when you look at the scenes of all the Michael Keaton original ending and all that, like he's wearing the same suit, he's
Yeah.
wearing like there's like in-depth stuff. Could be some Snyder cultists at home, typing away. But so what did you think about George Clooney?
I hate Batman on ice. I hate it.
The
And
hockey.
I honest to goodness, when I saw that, I was like, no. It could have been anyone. It could have been Val Kilmer. It could have been Christian Bale.
CGI Val Kilmer would have been a little better.
Like, dude, just not anything against George Clooney. He's a beautiful man,
he is.
but I hate that movie so much.
You shut your mouth. That
I've
movie's
actually
a
never
masterpiece.
finished it. I've tried to watch it start to
It's
finish, and both times
impossible.
I could never finish it.
So bad.
So
I really
So-
enjoyed it because it was supposed to be Michael Keaton, but they ever since James Gunn's come in to become.
we
the
should have
head-
got the Batman Beyond movie, but that's a whole other.
Oh yeah, hopefully we do one day.
Yeah.
Truth.
With Michael Keaton, bring Tim Burton back, all of it. Anyway, I liked it because it was supposed to be Michael Keaton, and I didn't really like that idea that he was going to be like the main Batman
Yeah.
going forward. And because they're not doing it anymore, I just laughed because it was like I can just imagine them like, let's have fun with it.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe Clooney agreed to do it, but he did.
Yeah,
and
you got a good paycheck for it.
that's probably where all the money went. Let's be honest. Like
All the money went to Clooney. But concluding thoughts, I gave it probably like a 3.8. Any last things you want to say for people that are going into the film?
I think just have fun with it. Like curb your expectations. I think, and like realize. I think too that like what this story does, like just in general, but also for DC moving forward, it is kind of a reset, and so like take it for that. Like have fun with it, enjoy it, and then just be ready for what's to come.
Heck yeah. Well, always a pleasure talking to fellow DC fans, guys. Love it. And make sure to go check out The Flash.